Hi, I'm Brad Hodge. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a really quick review of a MOOC that I've found, and I've found a few, so I'm going to do a few different reviews, that basically looks at digital learning. How is it that we create better learning environments online? A lot of this stuff will actually apply to your work in the classroom as well, because it draws on a whole bunch of learning theory and psychological theory and all sorts of things like that. But I'm going to give you a quick review of a freely available MOOC that you can engage in. Okay, so the MOOC that we're looking at today is called Creating Effective Online and Blended Courses. Now this I would put in one of the top 5 MOOCs that I've seen, and there's a number of reasons for that. One of the good things about this course is it's actually freely available. So you can sign up for this tomorrow. It's what's called asynchronous, so it means you can start and finish at any time, assuming that you're not doing the assessment component of the course, and which you don't need to. So basically they estimate this very vaguely at being between 2 and 10 hours per module, and there's 8 modules. Now, 2 and 10 hours is as vague as ever, but have a look through and you'll see it doesn't have to take you a very long time, but you will find it really valuable. The structure that it looks at is things like, how can I structure my course? How do I develop this in a way that engages students with regards to structure? How do I formulate clear learning outcomes? And whilst for some of you this might be, I guess, a revision of, learning objectives, learning outcomes, for others you'll find it either a really good reminder, but it gives you a process to kind of work through. How is it that you create really good learning outcomes that actually lead to an increase in student engagement? Not just tick the box of, yes, I've written down my learning outcomes, but how do you do this in a way that really makes a difference? How do I foster and measure student learning outcomes? So how do I do this? What activities can I use to support student learning? One of the things that I really like about this course is the fact that it's really, really practical. So it's incredibly practical. You'll walk away from each week with ideas you want to try, but also it's heavily founded in theory. So whenever it's talking about a way that you should do something, it's always drawing on theory, education theory, psychological theory, whatever's relevant, to explain, okay, this is why we're doing it, and yes, there's research to back this up, which I really, really like. Fully referenced, so you can kind of go through and go, oh, I'm interested in that, and then move in that direction, so really useful in that way. How can I most effectively use different tools to present content? What you will find is that some of the things that it's talking about are either beyond your current skill set or outside of the scope of what we provide with LTLT. Of the LMS, but you'll also find a whole bunch of different tools that you can use. The way that it does this is it presents you a pros and cons list, which I found really useful. So rather than saying, do this in this situation, it was saying, okay, here's this great tool, this is what it will do, and this is what it won't do. And so it allowed me to kind of go, I could use that for something they're not talking about, but I've got the information I need to apply that. How do I build a genuine community to keep students motivated? Which I found really interesting because it's kind of A, assuming that you can build a community online and gives some really good strategies about how to do that, but B, that community is a really important part of enabling motivation. And let's face it, motivating students is kind of core business. How can I use platform data to improve my course over time? So again, you're going to have to reinterpret this back within the LMS, but it gives you some really clear hints as to how you can use the information that's coming from the LMS, and there are a bunch of pieces of information that you can kind of draw out of the LMS. How can you use that to change the way that you present content on LMS to improve student engagement and to measure whether students are being engaged and doing the things that you're hoping that they'll do? So, I guess the 3 big things that I really like about this is the fact that it's incredibly practical. Some of the courses that you'll do are really theory-driven. This is incredibly practical down to the point of a step-by-step process. 2 is the fact that it's really theory-driven as well. That it's drawing on solid research theory. It's really valuable in that way. And 3 is the fact, which I haven't mentioned, 3 is the fact that it's text-based. Now, if you were doing something for students, this might cause you a problem because students can be a little bit reluctant to read, sadly, though that's strange at university. For you who are probably motivated, what this means is that you don't have to sit there through hours of video content. You can consume the written content much quicker. Beautifully written, well presented. Just a quick look. The other thing that is really good about this course is that it follows good design principles. So yes, there's a lot of text. They are using some good imagery. There's a lot of text. They've kept it quite simple. But then they've also got these knowledge checks in place. Now, I'm not going to show you all of the different types of knowledge checks, but they basically force the student to be deeply engaging with the content. Now, when I was looking at this course, I kind of had to get through it in 4 hours, so I was skimming, and I found the knowledge checks quite annoying because I hadn't really chewed on the content. So as far as a student is concerned, this is a really good model because they need to do those knowledge checks. It gives you some really good examples of how to do that. If this was a benchmark for you for how to create a really good course, I think you'd be doing really well. So I hope that's helpful for you. I will be reviewing some more. If you've got a MOOC that you're interested in doing and would be keen to get a quick review to save you the hassle of trawling through it like I've had to, let me know.